Greetings and beyond the new. My name is Omni, and welcome to the next installment of What If Iruma Was a Saiyan Part 2. Now, I normally wait at least a week, but I don't want to get into a rut. Sorry, I had some hair in my mouth. Anywho, so yeah. When we last left off, Irma had just summoned his alicorn by near, which is what an alicorn is when you mix bicorn and slate near. If you want to know more about those, I suggest you watch the series Overlord for bicorns and just look up Sleipnirs which are six-legged horses up in Norse mythology. Hold on. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Okay, let's get into the video. Everyone, to say, was shocked to see an alicorn by near, summoned by a demon of all things. All the students before they graduate have only heard bedtime / campfire stories about them. While after they graduate from any demon high school, they are told official legends about alicorns, bicorns, Sleipnirs, and the rare instances where bicorns bislates, which are half bicorn, half Sleipnirs, being made, and ultra rare instances where alicorn bislates have been seen in the underworld, but have never been not even in bedtime stories slash campfire stories have they ever been tamed, because they thought it would be impossible for a demon, because Sleipnirs are actually divine beasts. And in legends, there was one instance of the very first ruler of the Netherworld having a alicorn by slate by slate as a familiar, and he was arguably the most powerful demon lord in all of history. So Calico is thinking, hold on. I just sneeze, bless me twice, and excuse me twice. And yes, that's how I do it. That's just how I was raised to do it. Okay, let's see. So Calico is thinking he must be. But the most there's actually 10 legends about those things, 20 legends about alicorns, and 20 legends about bislates. It's the most talked about of the alicorn bislates is that at upon the first demon lord's deathbed, he was made into a god of destruction for their nether world. I'm going to say the netherworld has their own god of destruction, and I'm gonna make it make the assistant be a be a nymph instead. No, wait, no. Actually, it will be an angel. Hold on. Sorry, I'm. I usually don't blow my nose so much. It's early in the morning, and well, I haven't taken allergy meds. That's prescribed by my doctor at Marana Health Center, which I cannot recommend enough. But you won't have to wait a long time for each appointment, but at least 3 months. But still, the service is rather good. Anywho, let's see. Okay. So the kid, and then Calico is also thinking, so the kid has the potential to could possibly become the next god of destruction. Well, I don't know if they say what the first demon lord of the netherworld is named in manga, so I'm gonna be giving them. Yeah, I'm gonna be making them a hermaphrodite. If you don't know what that is, basically it means either a male or a girl or a female, being born with both female and male parts down there between their legs. I mean, okay, or in their forbidden zone. If you guys don't know what I mean by that, then I suggest you at least watch the first Baby Genius movie. But if you end up liking it, suggest you watch the second one as well. Okay, anywho. Okay. And as soon as it touches down. Oh, and the first ever demon lord's name is Al Al Almado. Almado. Amado. Amado. Okay. Yeah. I'm yeah. Elmado. No? Okay. Okay, so yeah. No, wait, actually it's going to be Doom Do Dua. Okay, yeah, I'm settling on Dua. Okay. Basically, it sounds like I'm taking the T off of the Pokemon named Duat. Well, Duo? No. Dua? Yeah. Just taking. If you want to know how to spell it, just look up the Pokemon name Duant and then take off the T. E sounding letter. Okay, Dua. Okay, so yeah. Okay, as soon as the Alicorn Slate, by Slate touches down all the familiars that are in the vicinity, he can see. I'll give the Alicorn on Slate near name being Hogus. Hogus. Okay? Hold on. Yeah, anywho. Just needed to blow my nose. So, yeah. Anywho. Once Hogus touches down, all the familiars bow to them. Now bow to him. And he asks, Iruma, are you the one who called upon me, young mortal? Iruma says, yes, I did. I can sense in you a great power, a great potential. The same potential that my father there saw in the first Demon Lord. Which makes everyone jaw drop and eyes bulge out of their heads. Because Calico does that because, he knows the most famous legend. Blah, 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 blah. While everyone is just basically shocked, and then then Alice gets out of her shock and says, Master Iruma, I cannot believe such a mythical creature could see your potential even more than I could. Alice, please. And he's all embarrassed and blushing, going to fluorescent tomato mode. And then in his mind, Dua thinks, I sense that she has a bit of a crush on her master. But he's too oblivious to notice that. So, if you are to be my master, and this is him speaking out loud, and I wish to always stand by you, no matter what. Irma gets a worried face about this, and then Dua shrinks himself down to the where he can fit in the palm of Irma's in Irma's palm, and or be able to slip into a shirt pocket. Yeah, that size. Be able to slip into a shirt pocket comfortably. And of course, he can adjust his size. Being as small as, let's see. a molecule. No, wait, no. As small as an atom and as big as twice the Ten Tails size from Naruto Shippuden. Anywho, Dua says, "I believe this size should be sufficient, master." And then Iruma says, "Please don't call me master. Just call me Iruma." Yes, I mean Iruma. Okay, and his assistant droid ask if Dua wishes to either be on the top of his head or on their head or on Iruma's head. And Dua decides, oh yeah, his assistant droid is on Iruma's left shoulder, so Dua grows a little bit to be the same size as, well, Pikachu from Pokemon, and then takes his right shoulder. Okay, blah 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 blah. We go all the way to the start of the flying race. Blah 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 blah. Iruma actually takes it slow, lets everyone go ahead of him, and I'm gonna say, the Saiyans being game wardens ever since their lineage started have developed empath techniques. So basically, they can sense the emotions of other living creatures, not just other intelligent, but animals and plants as well. So his empath skills that can uh, that can span of a perfect circle. Let's see, 10,000 miles across all around him from him, and senses an injury of the guardian of Cutthroat Valley's child. He goes to it, sees that it's in Cutthroat Valley, but he doesn't care. He needs to help out the injured one. Then blah blah blah. He goes through a bunch of those demon world crows. Well, at least that's what they look like to me. Hold on. Anywho, had to blow my nose, but then he uses the version of the intimidation from the anime Toriko, which makes it that he used in the class assembly for new students to get his point across. Bing bang boom, he then finds the guardian of Cutthroat Valley's child. And I'm gonna say Saiyans and also like humans, they could heal netherworld Earls by just letting a drop of their blood, because in canon, for why the canon reasons for humans to do that, and because let's say they had a knack whenever they're hungry when they're younger to always find the most powerful medicinal herbs when they're like between the ages of let's see 4 and 6. So they would always eat those as a snack at between those ages. Anywho, so yeah, that's the reason they ate them so much and so often, like 3 times a day as a snack. Snack? No, wait, no, 6 times a day as a snack. But for Iruma, he ate them 10 times a day for snacks, so his blood is a lot more medicinal. Okay, so he heals the Guardian Cutthroat Valley's leg, and through his empath skills, he's able to hear the voice of the child. So basically, sort of like that technique from Pokemon on movie Legend of Arceus or Arceus, however you want to pronounce it. That anywho, that technique known as transcend the confines of time and space. Ace, he uses that technique, and then because the way how it is before using the technique, it's like a messed up audio recording. Like so messed up, you only get every 10th word. Or messed up. Okay. Let's see. Anywho. Okay, so yeah. Guardian Bada Bing Bada Boom as let's see, the guy who can make weapons by munching on materials is about to start round 2 of his fight with the Guardian of Cutthroat Valley. Then Iruma and their child show up, blah blah blah. The blonde haired guy, the tallest blonde haired guy in the classroom still wants to fight, but then Iruma whacks him upside the head and then says, "Don't." And then for emphasis, he uses his intimidation technique. The tallest blonde guy relents and says, "Fine, just spar with me, or spar with me on the weekends for a while, okay?" Iruma agrees to this. Then they all get to finish line, blah blah blah. They wait and they ride their Iruma, the tall blonde, and the Guardian of Cutthroat Valley's child rides on the Guardian of Cutthroat Valley, blah 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 blah. Everything happens. And then we skip to the next day to where Iruma meets his spazzy female friend, like in canon. Everything goes like in the same. But Iruma, without knowing it, says, "You shouldn't let people use you. I should know that feeling. It's not a really good feeling. Wing. I was just doing it because I could never really say no. But I'm trying to get over that. And besides, a girl like you who just wants to have fun and friends shouldn't degrade herself like that." And then Clarine says, well, thinks in her mind, he thinks I'm a girl, 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 a girl. And a huge, she goes into fluorescent red tomato mode. Then she shakes her head out of it. Then blah, 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 blah. Everything goes like in canon. Next day, we skip all the way to when Iruma starts training in the Netherworld's version of dodgeball. Well, with Clarine providing balls and Alice and everyone else in his class act, acting as acting as his opponents. They each are armed with uh, a modified softball thrower that throws the Netherworld version of the dodgeballs. And they all surround him in different angles, blah, 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 blah. His auto dodging gets a whole lot better, blah, 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 blah. Then, after 2 days, he becomes the same level as auto dodging as he is in canon. In his first usage of that, when he was dodging all those fish when he was working before he was taken by Sullivan. Anywho, that's when he starts training in a specially made chamber, sort of like the hyperbolic time chamber and gravity chamber mixed together. Because let's just say the Saiyans are not only warriors, but they're super smart. So they created a chamber that acts like gravity training, that is used for gravity training, and basically being able to make their own version of the hyperbolic time chamber and mixing them both together. And the time chamber, one day out of the chamber equals 1 year inside the chamber. But they went above and beyond and made it so like they don't actually no, they still age by 1 year, but I'm going to say Saiyans in this one, they start to go, their lifespan is at least 900 years, going to 1,000 with healthy living. And so yeah, they'll look like they'll be in their 20s, and he's even at the age of 100. Right, but Netherworld, the occupants of the Netherworld, besides Sullivan and Opera, are the only ones that know that. And in that year he gets the same level as Opera. Then in the spar with Opera, Opera and Sullivan are told about the legend about Super Saiyans, and Opera wants to help him get to every stage of Super Saiyan, and maybe even find other transformations that his lineage can, transform into. So he hurls a bunch of insults about his new friends, mostly about how Clarine is such a weirdo, and he should cut all ties with her, blah, 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 which enrages Iruma so much that it makes him awaken Super Saiyan 1. Then Opera gets serious, and they end the spar with you know the way how when Nami gets mad at Usopp and Luffy from One Piece whenever they spend a bunch of money on something stupid or like a party. Yeah, that's what Opera's face looked like, all swelled up and bubbly, like how Nami makes Luffy and Usopp's from One Piece faces look after disciplining them, air quotes. So yeah, that's actually where I'm gonna be leaving it off. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. But I'm not doing that for that. Doing this for that. I'm doing it because I want to and for the entertainment value. Anyway, it just helps me out so I can. I'm just saying that because it doesn't really matter to me, but still. Bye.